It's abundantly clear that Georgia Steele has some sort of personality disorder, like Amber Heard. So last night, Callum was obviously upset that Georgia Steele wanted to get to know Toby after she says it was completely over. And when she was sitting talking about it, she was like, oh, like, so fake tears. She didn't even like Callum, but her problem is she just wants everybody to be interested in her at once. She's a total narcissist. Casey and Kaz were saying that their relationship was more friendship vibes, and he liked Joanna, and I kind of thought to myself, thank fuck for that, because Kaz can do way better than that creep. So Georgia S was doing her fake tears, and Toby was trying to console her, and he's saying, what are you grateful for? And she's like, my natural long hair, my friends and all that. And although a lot of people might have found that strange, it is actually supposed to be that if you're feeling strong feelings of negativity and being upset, you're supposed to list the things that you're grateful for, because then it manifests more positive things. But I don't think that she was feeling any emotions. I don't even know if she can feel emotions. She might be a bit of a psychopath. After Sophie told Joanna that Josh said things were closed off between them because she chose Chris, Joanna was a bit like, what the fuck, and pulled Josh for a chat. And he was like, oh, I mean, if you pull me for a chat, I'm not going to say no. He's such a skis bag. He just wanted Sophie to think that he was in charge of the situation, and that because she picked Chris, he was like, oh no, I'm just closed off to you now. And then as soon as Joanna says, oh, like, I still want to pull you for chats, he's like, okay. He's not changed since season 1. He's an absolute fucking dick. Arabella was talking to the boys about Georgia S, and she was saying she's always making out as if she's like this one-man woman, but she doesn't act that way. And as I've mentioned, I didn't watch her season, but people in work says that she was a total snake in her own season, and obviously that's all coming out now that she's not changed either. But one minute she's talking to Tom, then Callum, then Toby. It's as if she just wants everybody to like her. It's fucking pathetic. Anton and Georgia H were meditating, and Anton is so cheesy sometimes, right? And I know that at the start of the season I was saying he's a compulsive liar because he had a girlfriend and he lied about it on the show. But at the same time, like, how long can you keep up an act like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that he's really been a genuine person. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. So while they were meditating, it totally cut off. Did anybody else have this problem with ITV last night? I had on ITVX and I had up ITV, and both of them kept crashing constantly. It was driving me insane. But it came on just in time to see Anton kissing Georgia H, and I was a bit like, oh, that was a bit unexpected, you know? But at least they went for it. And then straight away went to the boys, and he was just like bragging about it. I don't think he was bragging, I think he was actually just like a bit shocked himself. So they revealed it was time for the PDA awards. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do they normally do this after Casa Moa? I know they're not having a Casa Moa this year, unfortunately. But is it this that they do, or is it movie night when they get to choose whose clips they watch? So when they announced that it was time for the PDA awards, they were like, oh, Georgia, the truth's going to come out now. And she was like, oh, it's fine, I'm not worried, I always tell the truth. And I thought, is she actually lost the plot? Like, is she on crack or what? It's so clear to me that she's got some sort of personality disorder. Like, did you watch the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, where she stood up there and blatantly lied, right? And then do you remember when she showed like the picture and the edited picture, and she was trying to say that it was two separate pictures, and they actually merged them together to show that they were the exact same, and she was sitting there like, no, it was a different picture, like genuinely believing her own lies. This is Georgia S. When they were getting dressed, Toby was in front of the mirror doing all that, and I was like, he literally gives me the poke. Like, it might have been just carrying on, right? Like, maybe the other guys were doing it as well, and it just showed you a clip of him doing it, but I was just like, pass. When this award started, I thought surely Anton's not going to be on any of these, because he has literally done nothing wrong, apart from just be a bit cringy sometimes. So he ended up winning the best comedy for when he gave Georgia a kiss at the pool and then fell in. The sneakiest all-star obviously went to Georgia S when she was flirting with Tom and saying, oh, like, I'm still really attracted to you, we've obviously got a history and I'm not really feeling it with Callum and all that. And I was like, oh my god, so embarrassing. Chris was acting like a total dick to Arabella last night, and this started when Sophie came in, and it was as if for no reason he just like started blotting her out and speaking to her like a child. And it was clear last night that Joanna was really taking in what he was doing, and she was giving him looks as if like it was putting her off. Georgia S kept saying, oh, I'm confused, and Callum was like, oh, you still confused? And then Toby chimes in, and he's like, oh, you're not in her situation, you don't know what it's like, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, what the fuck's it to do with him? And then finally somebody turned around and says, it's got nothing to do with you, Toby, like, shut up. Honestly, him and Georgia are both fannies. All-Star Riz, I didn't even know what that meant, but Georgia S is now only realising that she looks like a snake. Now, they've been on this show before and they probably watch the show when they're not on it, so they know that these awards are coming up and that movie night's coming up and that everything's recorded, and even if it doesn't show them in the house, these people can go home and watch it. So I don't understand why they continuously lie and they think that they're going to get away with it. Like, it's been on TV, they can go and check it any time they want. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? When it was for the most salty All-Star, Molly chimed in and she was like, ding me a glass, and she's like, I'll make a decision. And that was fair enough, right? Everybody started attacking Georgia S. And normally I'm not one for bullying, right? Like, I would normally stick up for somebody completely. But in this case, she 100% deserved everything she got and more. So it showed the clip of Toby telling Callum that he could have had Georgia S outside the house. And Georgia S had an absolute shake to say to Toby, I'm disappointed in you. After all the lies she's told to everybody in the house, after the way she's treated several of the guys in the house, the way she's lied straight to the faces of the girls in the house, and because he maybe made a mistake, right, he probably did lie deliberately, but she's got a cheek to turn around to Toby and say, I'm disappointed in you. I was like, are you for real? The Revelation Award showed Tom telling Casey to go and chat with Molly, which is old news, right? She knew that that had happened and they got over it. And it showed Josh speaking to Joanna and saying that he was happy to go for chats with and stuff. Now, obviously, Sophie was going to be upset because he was making out as if he'd closed things off with Joanna. And he had a cheek to sit there in a huff and make out as if it was Sophie's fault. Sophie was the one who says, I'm happy for you to go and get to know who you want, but just be honest. And Josh is such a child. Then when the clip came up of Joanna, I was like, oh my god, I know exactly what clip this is. And she was up talking to the girls and she was saying, oh, Anton's like everything you would want in a man, but he just gives me the ick. Meanwhile, he's sitting downstairs talking to the boys saying that he feels as if it's too good to be true, and I was like, oh my god, like, I was so embarrassed for him. But obviously later on she was like, no, I've not got the ick and I think he's fucking sexy and all that, and obviously made him feel better. But it was, at the time, I was just like, that's such a shit. At the end, it showed conversations between Georgia S and Toby, and everybody was getting in on this, right? Arabella was upset because she was paired up with Toby and she felt like they'd both been lied to. Callum was calling them liars. Molly was getting upset because Georgia S says, oh, me and Toby have got a deep connection, and Molly was like, oh, she's trying to say that her connection's deeper than me and Callum. We went out for 3.5 years. I don't know why she was getting so upset about it, because Georgia S is an absolute fucking freak show. You wouldn't even listen to one thing she said, you'd just be like, oh, you had a deep connection with somebody who you've never even went out with, and somebody who dumped you after like a week of being in the house. Shut the fuck up, Georgia. So anyway, that was a wee bit of Sunday night drama. Let me know what you thought of last night's episode, and then tonight's going to be the aftermath. Hope it's good.